time's it, Mom? Oh, I don't feel like practicing anymore. Don't forget I was up early this morning. Was up at the crack of 6, took a brisk walk to the window, was back in bed again at 6:05. I stood under that cold shower for 10 minutes. Tomorrow I'm going to turn the water on. This weather gets me crazy. One day it's nice, one day it's cold. I don't know what to huck anymore. And it was so sticky today. When I got up from the Morris chair, Morris got right up after me. But nevertheless, I went out to the park. I took a deep breath of fresh air. I could hear one lung say to the other, that's the stuff I've been telling you about. Went up on the roof to get a sunbath. I took my clothes off. 2 vultures flew over me. One says to the other, looks like somebody beat us to him. Of course, this climate is a little different in California. Out there, they never have any rain. They have what they call a heavy fog. The week I was there, the fog washed away 3 bridges. I made a picture test while I was out there. It came back marked no blood. I finally made a picture. The producer just saw it. He joined the Foreign Legion to forget. This picture wasn't released. It escaped. It was so bad when they put it up on the shelf, the other film moved over. But I met some of the stars out there, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody was wonderful to me. I met Shirley Temple. I guess you all read about Shirley Temple retiring at the age of 11 with $3 million. Isn't that wonderful? We just got together, that is my accountants and myself, and we figured out by the time I'm $3 million, I'll retire with $11. Of course, money isn't everything, ladies and gentlemen. Money's the last thing I think of before going to bed every night. You can imagine how much money I have. A pickpocket put his hand in my pocket and all he got was practice. But everybody seems to have some money nowadays. They bet horses. I just played a horse yesterday so slow the jockey kept a diary of the trip. My horse ran with 3 legs. With the 4th leg, he tripped the other horses. All of a sudden, my horse started to get whipped by the jockey, and the horse turned around to the jockey. He said, what's the use of hitting me? There's no use. Nobody behind us. I have other things to do with my money now. I bought myself a car. I got myself a 1912 Saxon. You have to put it in second to go across a pebble. I threw it into first, it wouldn't work. I threw it into second, it didn't work. I threw in my brother-in-law, he doesn't work either. There's a guy who has a new business. He finds things before people lose them. He's been up the river so many times they call him Showboat. He gets away with everything. For instance, he walked into a tavern, ordered a glass of beer, and he'd eat all the free lunch. Well, they finally got sick and tired of it. They said, the next time this lad comes in, take off the free lunch and put on dog biscuits. We'll teach him a lesson. So he ate the dog biscuits. He was missing a week. He came back. He said, what's the idea of the free lunch back again? No more cookies? But I like him. He took me to the ball game the other day, and I want to tell you from where we sat, the game was only a rumor. I was up so high, I was getting spirit messages. I said to the fellow next to me, how do you like the game? He says, what game? I'm flying the mail to Pittsburgh. May I leave you with this thought, folks? It is much better to have loved and lost. Much better. Howdy, chewing gums, assorted chocolates. Folks, I want to tell you how marvelous it is being back home again. I just came from Florida. I went down there this season. I heard they discovered land on my property there. I stayed at one of the better hotels while I was down there. I was at a place called the Fractured Arms. I paid my rent in advance. They put the window back in my room. I had a window overlooking a wastebasket. You can imagine how big my room was. When I closed the doorknob got in bed with me. It was so small, even the mice were hunchbacked. I had a headache. The guy next door had to take the aspirin. But I liked it down there because I got out and I got that fresh sunshine. I took a job in a cafe there called the Carousel. This place was sort of an upholstered sewer. No cover, no minimum, no people. And no salary. Monday night, the ropes were up. The bosses were hanging themselves. You can imagine how business was. One Wednesday night, a fella came in and asked my boss for change of $5. He wanted to make him a partner. We had a lovely element, too. 12 o'clock at night, we used to have a 5-minute intermission to carry out the wounded. From out of nowhere, a big fellow walked up to me. He said, mister, I bet you $10 you're dead. Would you believe it? I was afraid to bet him. But years ago, I wouldn't have been afraid. I used to be an athlete, you know. I used to fight for a living. I used to stand with my hands extended. Of course, I never stood long. I had to give it up, though. The rosin used to get in my eyes. I'll never forget my first fight. Did I make that other guy run? I ran and he ran after me. I ran around the ring the first time. I said to my manager, throw the sponge in. He says, I haven't any. I ran around the second time. I said, throw the towel in. He says, I haven't any. I said, you better throw something in. I don't think I'll be around this way again. The other fellow only came up to my chin. The whole trouble was he came up too often. All of a sudden, I discovered someone I knew in the 4th row. It was me. He hit me amongst my nose. I was on the floor so much they thought I was a member of the stock exchange. Of course, I do my fighting at home now. I'm married. I haven't spoken to my wife in the last 4 weeks. I didn't want to interrupt her. My wife has a nice, even disposition. Miserable all the time. Lately, she's had a slight impediment in her speech. She stops to breathe. Can she talk? I had her at the beach last summer. When she got home, her tongue was sunburned. Well, it's all over now. We just got divorced. She won the custody of her parents. Now I take other girls out. There are 2 kinds of women, the pretty ones and the ones I get. I had a girl out so ugly, when she ordered a tongue sandwich, the tongue looked up and went... she had that certain nothing. She put her makeup on with a trowel. I invited her out to eat, and could she eat fast? That's the first time I ever saw anyone get sparks out of a knife and fork. The waiter came over and got a little fresh. So I got up and took a punch at him. Then I got up again. But I want to give you a little advice before I leave, folks. Have you a daughter 18 years or older? If you have, call her to one side and have a heart-to-heart talk with her. She'll teach you plenty.